Alright. Alright, let's try and get into it. Up. Influence is up, I guess. I've got 4 points from doing something. Did I save? Please tell me this isn't begin class trial. Shit. Give me a second. Just pop that on because I can. And it's all of it. Okay. Start the class trial. We already did.
Now then, let's begin. With a bit.
Give me a moment. Yeah, okay, that would be it. Wrong save file. Okay. And freak me out for a bit. Okay. Alright, there we go. And this is probably going to be jumped right back into intermission, which I thought that was for a moment. Alright, so we last left off in the middle of a trial, trying to determine if Kaito or Kokichi were dead. They popped up in a big old mecha suit, the Exisol suit, with a voice changer and everything, so we can't confirm who's alive and who's dead, all that stuff. Also because the body was crushed by a press. But we have video evidence from Kokichi in the Exisol to prove that it was Kaito who got crushed. Among other things. We determined that Himiko went to see Kaito and smuggled a crossbow to him. Just a single arrow, but there were 3 arrows. And then we were looking at the where did he get the other 2? Because no one would give them to Kokichi. But there was Maki as well, and I think currently we're arguing about the fight between us and the Exosols, and how one of them went missing or something. Let's, there we are. Getting inside one would have been impossible. All the hammers were still recharging. Okay. So I think that's the gist of where we left off. I had to do this mid game because my internet was dying out on me. Alright. Wait, not all the electro hammers were being charged.
I know because I found one. There was a used electro hammer near Monokuma and the Exosols.
That electro hammer used by the third party? Maybe they used it to disable an Exisol.
Yes, I think so.
Right. Everybody's an idiot. Alright.
When I saw them last afternoon, there were 4 exosols. But this morning, there were only 3.
Just 3.
I noticed that too. Was the missing exosol taken by this third party?
Good.
Shuichi is getting warmer. How about you say the answer right now? Who did it? Who is this third party?
I'm gonna say it was Maki. The third party is the Electro Hammer gives us a clue. I saw 4 exosols at the scene yesterday when I went to meet up with Kaito. This morning, when we were trying to get into the hangar, there were 3. The culprit must have used the Electro Hammer between yesterday afternoon and this morning. There's only one person among us that I think could do that.
It's you!
She tried to pass it off as
Maki,
she doesn't fight
you're the
with
third party we're
unknown
looking
weapons.
for, aren't you?
What? It's Maki?
Process of elimination. The only one without a working hammer would be her.
What are you saying?
Remember what Kokichi said.
But be careful. The Electro Hammer runs out of battery pretty quickly. So if you use it against an exo, it'll run out of you just one shot. Got it?
The Electro Hammer needs to be recharged for 24 hours after it runs out of battery. That hammer was used last afternoon, so it couldn't have been used this morning.
Oh, right. When we were all gathered in the dining hall this morning.
Maki, where's your Electro Hammer? I don't need it. I'd rather not use a weapon I'm unfamiliar with. This is much better. A knife? Oh, I suppose you know best.
Maki was the only one without an electro hammer, wasn't she?
Yes.
Knowing that, the Electro Hammer I found could only have belonged to Maki. And that leads me to the conclusion that Maki must be the third party.
Congratulations.
She also knows how to assemble the crossbow and could have returned it to her lab later.
You brought a different crossbow than the one Kaito had, right?
Maki took 2 arrows and her own crossbow from her lab, disabled the exosol with an Electro Hammer, and infiltrated the hangar. Now we just have to figure out what happened after.
I'll kill your logic.
Why are you doing this?
What?
Why are you getting in my way?
Getting in your way? Maki, what are you...
Yes, I'm the third party.
Huh?
I admit to going into the hangar with an exosol, and then shooting the crossbow. I didn't kill anyone. I'm not the culprit!
Just stop lying. Work with us, and we'll find out the true one if you're not the culprit.
You're right. I used the Electro Hammer. And I used the exosol to enter the hangar too. I also shot the crossbow there. However, I'm not the culprit. Because the crossbow is not the murder weapon.
Yay.
The crossbow is not the murder weapon? What do you mean?
The arrows left holes in her clothes. Think about the locations of the wounds. They were on his arm and back. An arrow to each of those spots wouldn't result in a fatal injury. That's why the crossbow can't be the murder weapon. Therefore, I'm not the culprit.
I want to think that Maki's the culprit, and I want to believe her. But the way she's scrambling to defend herself...
The arrows left holes in her clothes.
Yes.
Think about the locations of the wounds. They were on his arm and back. An arrow to each of those spots
Come on.
wouldn't result in a fatal injury. That's why the crossbow can't be the murder weapon. Therefore, I'm not the culprit.
Again,
The arrows left
poison.
holes in their clothes.
But we
Think
had
about
that
the
bottle in
locations
the
of
beginning,
the
didn't we?
They were on his arm and back. An arrow to each of those spots wouldn't result in a fatal injury. That's why the crossbow
Are you
can't be the
kidding me?
murder weapon. Therefore, I'm not the culprit. The arrows left holes in their clothes.
Give me a sec.
Think about
It's
the locations
weird
of the
aiming
wounds.
at it.
They were on his arm and back. An arrow to each of those spots wouldn't result in a... That's
Shit.
why the crossbow can't be the murder weapon. Therefore, I'm not the culprit.
Yes, shut up.
The arrows left holes in their clothes.
Sorry, guys, really.
Think about the locations of the wounds. They were on his arm and back.
On the back, yes, I know.
An arrow to each of those spots wouldn't result in a...
There we go.
I'll cut through your words.
Bit rusty, I guess.
It wouldn't matter where the arrow hit if it were poisoned.
The poison?
I noticed something about the poison in my lab during the investigation. There was just a little less in the bottle than before. If that poison had been applied to those arrows, they would have been lethal no matter where they connected.
Maki, do you have a rebuttal?
What's the matter? Why don't you say anything? Don't tell me. Are you really the culprit?
There's no way she is! Cause... why would she kill Kaito?
I can't understand if you don't explain anything!
Maki is still fighting.
Huh? Fighting?
Do you remember that Maki said she would do anything to defeat Kokichi? Maki is trying to kill Kokichi in this class trial. She wants to kill the mastermind, a remnant of despair.
Then when Maki said she would sacrifice anything, she meant...
The sacrifice that Maki's talking about must be... Kaito's life? She intends to give up Kaito's life. Kaito's life, but Kaito's already...
I was wrong!
All of us then, I guess.
That's it!
Yeah.
She plans to sacrifice all of our lives in order to kill Kokichi.
Sacrifice us?
Then, by hiding the truth, Maki was trying to get us to arrive at the wrong answer. Just to kill Kokichi and the rest of us along with him?
Doesn't that mean that Maki's the culprit?
She knew what happened and tried to hide it from us.
But that mischievous plan was ruined, all thanks to Shuichi here. Too bad, Maki. I already predicted this would happen.
You knew all along that Maki was the culprit. That's why you've been so calm.
This isn't over.
I keep looking at that exosol, and it's like, where would you exist inside of it? It doesn't really have a cockpit. Got a shield for a head, but then it's flat and just like a motor part in the chest. It's weird.
Maybe we do have the truth now, but this isn't over. We have a choice to make. We don't have to follow where the evidence leads.
Huh? What do you mean?
Does this mean you're gonna vote for someone else, even if it's not the truth?
Someone else? You mean vote incorrectly on purpose?
What did you say?
Kaito told me that only I would be able to grasp what lies beyond the truth. That means finding the truth is not enough. We need to grasp the hope just beyond it. So Maki, please tell us the truth. The truth that only you know.
So Kaito said that to you.
I guess.
Then, that mean you guys made up before he died?
Yeah, when I went to see him yesterday.
I see. Okay, I'll talk about it. Especially since it's my responsibility for involving everyone. Shuichi, you're so persistent. Were you always like that?
You think so?
No.
Maybe Kaito's charisma is starting to rub off on me.
That guy could be pretty stubborn.
Then, what really happened?
Maki, please tell us.
Please!
And so, Maki began telling the truth. A truth that would leave us all in shock.
Don't just start narrating things, you're ruining the mood!
Well, I guess this turn of events isn't exactly boring either.
And there's the intermission. A good 20 minutes later, I guess. Want to save? Sure. Right over the first one I got there. Don't make that mistake again.
Well now.
And then the Monokumas and Cubs Theater segment began. With all the Monokubs destroyed, this segment was no longer possible. And so the curtain quickly fell. Alright. Resume class trial.
The flashback light became the motive. When Kokichi remembered that he was a remnant of despair, I planned to kill him. I thought that if I killed him, this game, and the battle between hope and despair, would end. I was confident in my talent as an assassin. I knew I would be able to do it.
We've tried to end this killing game before, but...
You were naive.
Huh?
That's what I thought. I knew Kokichi would take advantage of my naivete, simply because it's him.
Maki totally gets me!
That's why. I needed to settle it myself. I took the poison arrows and the crossbow, and broke into the hangar with an exisal. But when I entered the hangar, I saw something I never expected. Kaito and Kokichi were fighting each other. Kokichi was shot in the arm with a crossbow arrow, probably by Kaito when he fought back. Both of them stopped and looked at the exisal, most likely surprised by its sudden appearance. Kokichi immediately took out his remote and attempted to control the exisal I was in. I jumped out of the exisal before he could, and shot Kokichi in the back with an arrow. That should have been enough to stop him, since the arrow was coated with poison.
The Strike 9 poison, correct? But why pick that particular poison? Some of the poisons in my lab were far more lethal.
I wanted Kokichi to confess his true intentions before he died. And find out why he was always lying and trying to confuse us.
What do you mean?
If he was the mastermind, it would have been easier for him to hide in the shadows, right? He could have made it seem as if the late Junko was secretly behind this killing game. That way, he could reveal himself as the surprise mastermind to liven up the game. Because of his suspicious actions, anyone would already suspect him as the mastermind. Especially with that message in the courtyard. Kokichi said it was a hint, but was it necessary for him to go out of his way just for a hint?
As a remnant of despair, I imagine he wanted to feel the despair of his plan being thwarted.
I think that if he wanted the thrill, he would have carried out the plan carefully. So when his carefully laid out plan goes to waste, he would be in utter despair.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Maki must have wanted to hear it directly from Kokichi himself.
But it was pointless. I was a fool for thinking I could have a serious talk with him.
What are you talking about? Remnants of despair? What's that? I don't understand anything you're saying. But anyway, why are you starting a killing game when it should have ended? You already know it's all meaningless, and that I'm the mastermind. Do you love killing that much?
Shut up, you asshole! I realized it was pointless to continue the conversation, so I shot the final arrow. But then... What?
Kaito protected Kokichi?
Why? Why would Kaito protect Kokichi?
At that moment, my mind went blank. I knew I had to do something about the poison. I rushed to Shuichi's research lab for the antidote.
So you didn't have the antidote with you at the time?
I used Strike 9 poison to torture Kokichi for info, but I planned to kill him from the start.
That's so mean!
But that was my first mistake. Because of that,
You what?
I ended up killing Kaito. When I returned with the antidote, the hangar shutter had been closed. I assumed it was Kokichi's doing, but because of that, I couldn't enter the hangar anymore. I needed to give Kaito the antidote somehow, so I went to the bathroom window. Kaito, can you hear me? Quick, drink this antidote! After calling out to him, I chucked the antidote through the bathroom window. Kaito noticed it and grabbed the antidote. But Kokichi stole it from him.
Sorry, but I can't die here. Since I'm the mastermind of this killing game.
Wait! There's only one antidote!
Oh, you don't have to worry about Kaito. He fulfilled his dream, right? He already went to space.
Damn it!
Stop!
Phew, it feels so much better. I guess that's a wrap. Or maybe not. Because now another class trial is going to start.
Last trial?
You'll be the Blackened for this case, you know. The Blackened who killed Kaito.
I killed...
Shut it! Screw the class trials. Like hell am I gonna let you have your way?
Kaito! Why did you protect Kokichi? If you didn't help him, then...
I couldn't help it. Even if it's Kokichi, I can't have you kill anybody.
What?
Aw, Kaito wasn't protecting me. He was protecting Maki. The situation just got way worse. Maki is gonna become the Blackened responsible for killing you. All because you protected me!
So don't you worry, Makiro. I'm not gonna die that easily. Just leave it to me. I'll put an end to this killing game.
You're still full of energy, even like that. You really are not boring.
What?
I want to see what a dying Kaito can do. So, show me what you've got. I won't meddle with your plans.
What are you...
Don't mind me. Run, Makiro. Just hurry up and run. Run! And live. You gotta live.
But I refused to give up. I tried to enter the hangar by breaking the control panel with my knife. In the end, I couldn't.
So that's where the marks on the control panel came from, huh?
After that, I returned to the bathroom window once more, but I didn't see anyone. The bathroom door was closed. I called out, but neither Kaito nor Kokichi answered. I couldn't do anything anymore. All I could do was leave. That's when I made up my mind. As the Blackened who killed Kaito, I would kill Kokichi during this class trial, in exchange for all of your lives.
So that's what happened.
Then Kokichi, knowing what he knew, still helped Maki cover up her crime?
Was that why you smushed Kaito in the hydraulic press?
Kaito wanted Maki to be spotless. As his friend, I felt obliged to help him.
How dare you make fun of him! You call yourself a friend? You enjoyed watching us suffer! You fucking asshole!
Ooh, Maki is so scary. Good thing I'm in this exosol. Pretty sure Maki would have already killed me if I was out there in the flesh. So, what are everyone's plans now? With the truth out in the open, who are you guys gonna vote for? You can vote for me, but if you do, we'll all die together. Or vote for Maki and live. Well, choose whichever you want. I don't care either way.
Why? Why are you so calm? Your life depends on this too.
Who cares? Just choose already. Come on, who are you gonna vote for?
No, we can't vote yet. We don't have the whole truth. This case isn't over.
Huh?
Thank you for telling us everything, Maki. Thanks to you, I finally understand. There's
a bit
another
more.
hidden truth within your testimony.
A hidden truth?
Yes, I'm positive. Because there's something wrong with the testimony you've given us.
Part of Maki's testament doesn't add up. Knife on the control panel.
That's it! Maki said she used a knife to try to break the control panel and enter the hangar. But that doesn't make sense, because there's an alarm system on the shutter.
Oh yeah! The alarm should have gone off if
Yeah.
someone got close to the shutter.
I was too focused to notice at the time. But now that you mention it, it is odd.
Maybe the sensor just missed her.
No.
The security there isn't that sloppy. If a shady person got near the shutter, the alarm would have gone off without question.
Then why didn't the alarm go off?
Like I told you, this isn't over. There's still a hidden truth to find.
Alright, then shut up and figure it out. There must be some kind of reason behind all these oddities. Finding that reason will help us find the hidden truth. Alright. Patches, electron, crossbow, electrobomb, hangers, front
I
shutter.
did attempt to enter the hangar. And I tried to destroy the control panel with my knife. At the time, the alarm system didn't go off.
But if you had approached the shutter, the alarm would have activated with 100% certainty.
Maybe it was just broken.
Perhaps it was turned to a special setting?
Or maybe Maki is telling a lie. Did you really try to break the control panel with it?
I'm not going to tell any more lies.
Pretty sure it's the electrobomb. The setting seemed like the alarm system. No, definitely contradicted. Properly. What can we learn from that?
I did attempt to enter the hangar. And I tried to destroy the control panel with my knife. At the time, the alarm system didn't go off.
But if you had approached the shutter, the alarm would have
There it is.
100% certainty.
That's wrong!
The electrobomb. Kokichi had 2 more on him.
There is a way to disable the alarm system. An electro bomb would take it down.
But Maki only had 1 bomb, and she used it during the raid this morning.
And the only other person who could have used one is Kokichi, right?
Huh? Why would I use an electro bomb? I had no reason to shut off the alarm, right? I'd be at a disadvantage if I did that.
I guess so. I can't come up with a reason why Kokichi would want to cut the alarm.
But we know that the alarm system was neutralized. It had to be. In that case, then
I've got it! Disabling the alarm system wasn't the real objective.
What?
The main objective of Kokichi using the Electro Bomb was disable the remote control, keep Kibo away, disable the press's safety functions.
That's it! It was to deactivate the safety function on the press.
Deactivate the safety function?
The Electro Bomb wouldn't have just taken down the alarm system. It also would have disabled the hydraulic press's safety function.
That's true, but why would he do that?
There's only one reason that anyone would want to do that. But if I'm right, it means that we've been thinking about this all wrong.
All wrong?
What aspect of this case runs contrary to the new evidence? What piece of evidence is called into question if the safety function is off?
I was
Dipshits,
wrong!
no. Kaito's cause of death.
That's it! Kaito's cause of death.
What?
If the Electro Bomb was used while Maki was trying to deliver the antidote, maybe Kaito didn't die by poison. It could be something else entirely.
Yes, the cause of death could now be hydraulic press.
This is it! The hydraulic press. Kaito could have been killed by the press after all.
What? He could have?
Wasn't that her original
If
thought?
the safety was off, the press could have crushed Kaito while he was still alive.
Yes, that's what happens when you turn off safety
Right
features.
after I threw the antidote, I tried to open the shutter. So, Kaito should have still been alive.
And if he was crushed by the hydraulic press after that, then we have our cause of death.
If that's the case, it'd mean the one who killed Kaito wasn't Maki.
It would be whoever was operating the hydraulic press. Kokichi.
I see. Very impressive. The hydraulic press could have been the cause of death. But that's just a possibility.
What do you mean?
It's possible that I killed Kaito with the press, but there's no way to know. Kaito's death could have been either the poison arrow or the hydraulic press. Both causes are possible, but you'll never be able to determine it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Why is it? Oh, well. That didn't pop up in chat or any other setting. Oh, thank you for the follow, whoever you were. I missed your name, but I heard the follow notification. So thank you. Both causes are possible, but you'll never be able to determine it.
No matter what.
No matter what?
That's not true. We can probably solve this mystery too. Right, Shuichi?
Is it really possible to determine Kaito's actual cause of death? No, there's no evidence that determines the cause of death, absolutely. Push the other button. All I can do is confirm.
I hate to admit it, but Kokichi is right. We have no way to prove the cause of death.
What did you say?
You can't check the body, and you don't have any conclusive evidence. You can't deduce any more from here on out. There's no way to know what happened. But I know, because I was actually involved.
So that's what you were trying to do. You were trying to commit an unsolvable murder.
Do you finally get it? Yep, that was my plan. The gimmick of this murder case isn't the unknown victim, but rather the unknowable culprit. No one understands but me. Only I know the answer. There's no more room for deduction here. Choose the culprit with your own intuition.
Intuition?
Are you troubled I'm sure robots don't have intuition, right? But there's nothing you can do about it. This is just how the trial goes. So, who is the culprit? Maki or me? The heart-racing excitement as the blackened and the spotless face off. It's voting time!
Wait, seriously? What? Honestly, my gut says actually Kaito.
Hey, that's my line. I'm the one who decides when it's voting time.
Oh, come on. No one's gonna figure out the truth. Let's just vote already. This won't be a problem, right, Monokuma? Because you know who the culprit is, don't you? Just like you always do.
Huh? Yes, of course.
Yeah? What kind of a reaction is that?
The culprit, you say? Yes, of course I know.
Hmm? Why do you seem so flustered?
Flustered? Me? What are you talking about?
What's going on with Monokuma right now?
Monokuma? Do you not know who the culprit is either?
Huh? Oh, what do you mean I don't know? What don't I know, huh?
You don't know, do you?
What does this mean? Why doesn't Monokuma know who the culprit is?
Monokuma doesn't know who the culprit is either? Monokuma doesn't know? What does that tell us about this case? Wait, this case?
Yes, that's it! So that's what Kokichi's real objective was.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Kokichi wasn't just trying to commit a murder that we couldn't figure out. He was trying to commit a murder that Monokuma couldn't figure out either.
A murder Monokuma can figure out?
But what's the point of that? Kokichi's the one who's controlling Monokuma.
But consider how many elements of this case would be cleared up. Prior to this case, Monokuma always knew the specific details of each crime, correct? That must mean that he was using some way of monitoring us.
Perhaps there are hidden cameras strategically placed to avoid our detection.
I can't say for certain, but he must be keeping watch somehow. Kokichi probably used the electrobomb to scramble whatever that was. The electrobomb would prevent any cameras from sending video wirelessly.
Which means it wouldn't matter where the surveillance cameras were hidden.
Like I said, what's the point? Kokichi's the one who's controlling Monokuma!
Before we determine that for sure, I want to make one thing clear. If the objective were to create a crime that would stump Monokuma, the exosols... Yes, the exosols weren't protecting Monokuma. They were...
Watching him.
That's it!
Yeah, that's not a protective
They were
formation.
watching Monokuma.
Watching him?
Those were patrols around him.
Yes. Remember what Monokuma said earlier in the investigation?
Oh, at the time, the exosols were on autopilot and directed to only observe me.
If they were protecting him like bodyguards, they wouldn't have been facing him. They would have been scanning the area, watching us.
Yes.
But they weren't. That implies that they weren't watching us. They were watching him. They were trying to make sure that Monokuma wouldn't go near the crime scene.
That reminds me. Before I stole an exosol, all 4 units were focused on Monokuma. That's why when I stole one to enter the hangar, the other 3 didn't pursue me.
So Monokuma must have been talking about Maki.
Even if it puts someone at a disadvantage, the class trial must always be fair. person who shared that info with me didn't seem interested in sharing it with you guys. So you share it instead. That way, it'll be fair to all participants.
She didn't want to share that information because it would have linked her to the murder. In which case, it could only be Maki.
You're right.
So to summarize this discussion, Kokichi used the electro bomb in the hangar and the exosols to watch Monokuma, thereby creating a scenario in which Monokuma has no idea who the culprit is?
I told you there's no point. Kokichi's the one who's controlling Monokuma!
No, Kokichi might not be controlling Monokuma at all.
What?
But Kokichi's the mastermind, right? Shouldn't he be controlling Monokuma?
Kokichi might not be the mastermind.
What?
Remember that the only reason we think that is because Kokichi told us. Monokuma hasn't said a word about that. It's possible that Kokichi is just lying to us.
Really? The guy who lies all the time might be lying?
No way I lied! I'm definitely controlling Monokuma. The mastermind of the killing game is totally me. The one who pitted humanity's last survivors against each other is... all me, baby.
Right. He's a remnant of despair. How could we forget that?
But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's the mastermind.
Well, I guess. But is that really possible?
Well, Monokuma,
I can't answer that without causing problems, because I gotta run this trial fair and square.
Even more reason to give us the answer. If you don't tell us the truth right now, you'll be an accomplice to Kokichi's lies. Does that sound like a fair game? Would you say this class trial is fair?
Yeah, tell us! Is Kokichi the real mastermind or not?
No need to think about it. You're being way too forward, you know.
Aren't you normally the forward one? I mean, I don't mind, because that's probably part of your strategy, too. But in the interest of fairness, I suppose it's time to tell the truth. Unlike the lies you love so much, the truth should be impartial to everyone.
and what is that truth?
I'm not being controlled by Kokichi, because he's not the mastermind.
Is that really true?
Pretty sure.
Kokichi was just messing with you. I never once said he was the mastermind.
Then it was all Kokichi's lie?
Yeah, that is what that would mean. With the key from the last motive, he was the first to learn the truth of the outside world. Based on his deductions, he fabricated a lie to make you all think he was the mastermind.
I see. Kokichi's own deductions.
Do you want to know? And I'll tell you. I'm getting kind of bored with all the lying, so everything I say from now will be the truth, okay?
His deductions got a lot of details right, though. Pretty impressive, honestly.
But what about the Exisol? If Kokichi wasn't the mastermind, how'd he control them so easily?
He just used Mew's remote control, right?
Mew's remote control?
So the remote that Kokichi was using was made by Mew?
Oh, you didn't know? Mew not only invented the electro bomb and the electro hammer, she also made a remote control that can hijack any electronic device. Kokichi just slapped a receiver on each of the exosols and took them for a spin.
Hey, isn't it a bit unfair to tell them all that?
Fairness has nothing to do with it. I offered up that info purely out of spite. Spite towards you for trying to usurp the mastermind's role and take over the game.
Well, whatever. It's way more interesting to defeat an enemy who plays dirty anyway.
What's going on? It seems like they're actually fighting.
There's no doubt about it. Kokichi
Nope.
isn't the mastermind.
Were we just being dragged around by Kokichi's lies the whole time?
Yep.
What were you trying to accomplish by pretending to be the mastermind, Kokichi?
Now you're gonna be all quiet? This is so frustrating.
To make somebody else slip up.
He's not the mastermind. Who is?
Why are you so certain there's even a mastermind to
There's the other
begin
thought.
with?
What?
What do you mean?
Why, that's on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know.
But I wanna know.
That doesn't mean anything. The real mastermind is not Kokichi. Who could it be? I was thinking it was Junko Enoshima, but that can't be it. She's dead. We've never come into contact with her. If so, who's done this? Who planned this killing game?
Anyway, this conversation has flown off the rails. Let's get things back on track. This class trial is to figure out who the culprit is, not the mastermind. So, yeah, get to talking.
I agree. Before we worry about who the mastermind is or what my intent is, let's figure out the culprit!
But Monokuma doesn't know who it is. How is he supposed to confirm the results?
We don't need to worry about that. Let's just leave the decision-making to Monokuma. But we
Yeah.
gotta run the class trial too, so no mistakes, okay?
Are you trying to get me to do something?
Yep.
You've been watching us solve all these cases, but you can't be a spectator anymore. You're gonna participate in the class trial from here on out. So, let's resume this class trial. Monokuma, you gotta use your brain too. This will be the final class trial. Me versus Monokuma.
You versus Monokuma?
When I play a game, I intend to win. But what's considered winning in this game? Beating the other players? No. Beating the game's mastermind, true goal. And that's how I'll win! That's why I decided to challenge Monokuma! If I can deceive Monokuma till the very end, then I'll be the winner!
You're dragging us around like this? Just so you can win a game?
Yep.
As I suspected, your thought process defies all logic.
But since the outside world is in total ruin, this game is the only entertainment we have. At least I can enjoy this game to the fullest and feel good winning.
You really are a remnant of despair.
Eh,
Your way of thinking is just chaotic.
you gotta get hung up on things, especially for all these people arguing proof.
Whatevs. Let's just get this started. If the students or Monokuma don't know who the culprit is, then I'm the winner.
Don't underestimate me, or Shuichi and the others, for that matter.
What?
It's just like a remnant of despair to try to assume control of the game. But these kids are all that's left of Hope's Peak Academy. If you think they're gonna make this easy for you, you better think again.
Better think again.
Whose side are you taking here?
Side? Isn't it obvious? Monokuma joins your party.
Ultimate Despair Headmaster.
Who invited you?
Kokichi.
Now, let's join forces and unravel the truth behind this case.
Well, we were going to do it anyway.
Let's just ignore Monokuma. His actions are always beyond comprehension.
Yeah, let's just focus on the case.
Hey, be quiet so we can ignore you.
Now, where should we start? We've already established
All
what
right, then.
Kokichi is after.
He's just gonna keep talking anyway, isn't he?
Monokuma.
In my experience, whenever you learn a new fact, you learn something else along with it.
Yes, let's look for that.
You warmed up to him real fast. I guess you are
What
both
the hell?
robots.
So another truth comes out. That piece of evidence makes more sense now. The evidence that I couldn't wrap my head around. Oh, so what piece of evidence? Monokuma doesn't know who the culprit is. What evidence needs to be analyzed again?
This is it! Let's discuss the video of Kaito being crushed by the hydraulic press. Kokichi said that he filmed that video to prove he was not the victim. But we know that Kokichi was trying to mislead Monokuma. So what about the video? It's pretty strange to present evidence that condemns you after all.
Then what kind of mistake was Kokichi trying to get me to make?
Maybe he crushed Kaito with the hydraulic press, so the cause of death would be unknown?
But if that were the only objective, there would be no need to film it. Discovering the crushed body would have been enough. No need to show us the film.
That's true.
I guess you're starting to fit in after all. You get any cuter, I'm gonna hug you.
Huh? Really?
There must be a reason you went out of your way to show us the body being crushed.
No reason, really. That's just my twisted
No,
personality.
you had a reason. You're lying again, Kokichi. There's a method to your madness. If you want Monokuma to make a mistake, then showing us the video, it must have something to do with trying to fool Monokuma. Taking the video of the murder, but keeping the victim identity hidden. What does it show? What doesn't it show? This minigame? Yeah. Let's see.
I see now.
Changes who the victim is.
The victim.
Mm-hmm. Is it even possible? No, that's a question for later. For now, we know that.
If you show the moment of Kaito's death, of course it would lead us to believe he died. Even if we can't positively identify the body, we would still believe Kaito was the victim. And that might be exactly the mistake Kokichi was going for.
Does that mean the victims were switched?
Switched? Then it was some other dead body that got crushed by the hydraulic press?
What? Where would he even get another body?
There should be plenty to choose from if you reuse the body of a former victim.
If there was an unknown body, then we could guess the victim was switched. But too bad! Switching the victims was impossible. The footage showed the body being crushed. When in the footage would they have been able to switch the victim? And we already established that the footage was not doctored in any way.
Eh.
The camera doesn't have any editing functions. Just play, record, and pause. Monokuma also said that no computer was used to edit the footage. Remember?
Damn it! Me and my big mouth!
Which means switching out the victim would not be possible. Also, if the victim was switched, then that would mean Kaito is still alive. We already discussed this so many times. The chance of that happening is impossible.
It might be possible.
Huh?
There could be a trick to make the switch possible. We just haven't noticed it yet.
Oh, and what trick is that? See? You don't know, do you? I already said it's impossible.
Maki's not wrong, so we can't just give up here.
Hey, Shuichi. I'll think harder about this as well.
We had
So,
3 bombs.
can you confirm whether or not the victims switch places? If Kaito is alive or not?
Maki.
I don't like the thought that I killed Kaito. I don't want that.
Okay then. Let's talk about the possibility that Makiro mentioned.
Himiko, if you call her that again...
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Let's all talk it over together.
Together. Things work a lot better together. Don't forget, you're not alone. Don't try to do everything yourself. It's only gonna wear you out. When times are hard, you gotta rely on your friends.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll figure something out.
Jeez, you guys are a stubborn bunch. There's no trick.
That's probably another lie.
However, if the victims were switched, then that would mean the footage was altered. How could it have been altered when we know that the footage wasn't edited?
If we could figure that out, maybe we'd know how they switched places.
I knew there was a trick to that video the whole time. Okichi made it, so it's 100% suspicious.
It's not a logical deduction. A trick to that video. That is... It's a pause right here. Before it goes all the way down. Honestly, that's not how presses tend to work, but... What could it be? What's suspicious about it? Presses tend to be just one speed.
There must be some trick to that video.
That's what you all gotta figure out.
There is no trick. You can check, but there's no editing function in that camera.
Did the placement of that camera seem suspicious to any of you? The filming angle seemed unnatural, don't you think?
The person in that video. Was it really Kaito?
Something seemed off about that video to me. When the hydraulic press stopped for a brief moment.
Yeah,
Could it be
that's it.
that the video was shot at another location?
Any
No.
other bright ideas?
Yeah,
Come on,
me and
everybody, speak up!
Kibo tested out the safety function. I feel like someone said something that gives us a clue. It was Kibo and the safety function. Put our heads together and find the smallest hope. We won't fall in despair.
There must be some trick to that video.
That's what you all gotta figure out.
There is no trick.
The press.
You can check, but there's no editing function in that camera.
Did the placement of that camera seem suspicious to any of you? The filming angle seemed unnatural, don't you think?
The person in that video. Was it really Kaito?
Something seemed off about that video to me. When the hydraulic press stopped for a brief moment.
Yeah, so it was
I
just
agree.
wrong bullet. Kick it up, make fun.
Kibo is onto something. Isn't it weird that the hydraulic press stopped for a second?
Yes.
Because when Kibo and I first investigated that hydraulic press, yes, that's right. The hydraulic press kept
How could you
lowering
forget
itself
that?
without stopping. But in the video,
The hydraulic press stopped briefly, right before it crushed the body?
But why would it stop?
Why did the press stop? There's only one reason I can think of. Well, technically two, but... Yeah, alright. Shit. Alright. Yeah. What the hell is everything? What the hell are you? What are you? That's the what are these? Exercise? What are these? Isn't that nice? What are these? Yeah, that's the painting device. That's a control panel. It has to be the switch. No.
I see it! The only way to stop the hydraulic press is the force stop button.
An electro bomb went off in the hangar, which would have interfered with the safety function. There'd be no way to stop the hydraulic press unless someone used the force stop button.
Mm-hmm.
When you say someone, you mean Kokichi, right? He was the only one there.
Actually, maybe I pressed it by accident. I don't really remember.
I don't
So
really
what
remember.
of it? The press only stopped for like a sec. You can't switch the victim in such a short time, can you?
That's true.
There's also the question of how the bodies got switched while the camera was rolling. That would have clearly been caught on camera.
Yeah, but well, the camera was rolling.
Oh, I see. It wasn't just the press that stopped.
Huh? Huh? What do you mean?
If you stop something else at the same time you stop the hydraulic press,
Yes, I see it now. That's how the bodies were switched. If you stopped that, you could have swapped the bodies easily. Again? Alright. The hammer. There we are. And there we go.
I see it!
Yeah. Stop, press, pause camera, move body.
The culprit
Push
stopped
forward,
the video
push-
camera
push
at
down.
the same time as the hydraulic press. Then, while the camera was off, they switched the body under the hydraulic press. After the body was swapped, the press and the camera were started simultaneously. So it just looks like the press stopped for a moment.
The only issue is the hand there.
That's what I've been saying this whole time!
When did you ever say that?
Yeah,
So
what?
they stopped at the same time. The camera position did seem odd to me. But now I get it. The trick wouldn't work unless it was set up there.
Huh? Why?
You need to
To
see
get
the
the
body.
trick we just described to work, the camera had to be set up precisely.
Let's pin that down. Where was the camera set up? What? Shit, unnatural. It was basically right here. Is that right next to the press? It's a pretty close angle, but you couldn't press the switch from there.
There!
Why is that considered an unnatural angle? And why would I have to point that out?
The video camera must have been set up somewhere around here. To operate the press and the camera at the same time, it would have to be near the switch.
That's why the video was taken from that unnatural angle. If they were recording it like normal, they would have used a better angle.
And if it was recorded at such an odd angle, then that proves the trick was used.
Can't camera angles, huh? Looks like your cosplayer experience is finally useful.
Well, cosplay doesn't really come up all that much in class trials.
There was a reason the camera was set up there, but also a reason for the height.
Kind of just watch him get
When the
smushed so
press
many
was
times.
stopped, you couldn't really see who was inside it, correct? That was intentional. The body is mostly hidden by the press, making the swap easier.
The camera must have been placed at such a high position so it would produce that angle.
I wonder if they used that tripod in the hangar to adjust the camera's height.
Did they get that from the warehouse too? Jeez, that place is like a 4D pocket.
You don't get to make that reference.
Then, that logic is correct, right? Kokichi used that video angle trick and switched the victim in the hydraulic press. In that case, Kaito is...
Or he was crushed by the press. He was swapped with a different body. So Kaito's still alive!
Well, wait just a minute.
What? But I just summed it up so nicely.
Himiko, the different body you mentioned, what are you talking about?
What?
The bodies from the other cases. Kokichi's the mastermind, so he... Wait, the mastermind?
Yeah, Kokichi isn't the mastermind, so... I don't think he'd be able to produce a body to switch out.
What?
Well, Monokuma, do the rules allow for a body to be reused?
Very well, I'll answer that.
You're giving in pretty easily.
Well, it's crucial information to make the trial fair.
We'll see.
This discussion is pointless if it's not clear what the culprit was allowed to do, right?
You're a convenient mastermind, but I guess that makes defeating you worth my time.
Now then, regarding the reuse of a dead body. That is impossible! All the dead bodies have already been thrown away.
Thrown away?
The other bodies are... gone? Then who did Kaito switch places with?
Kokichi and Kaito were the only ones in the hangar at that time. If they were the only ones present during the body swapping trick, then the real victim was the other person in the hangar. It would be the logical one. If it wasn't an old body, it could only be.
What's wrong, Shuichi? Who did Kaito switch places with?
Maki, I think I missed something very important here.
Something important?
If I have the timeline right, there were only 2 people in the hangar at the time. Which means that something had to have been decided before. To pin that down, can't let anything escape me this time. Victim something or other. What was that? Oop. There we are. The victim help.
I can't believe I overlooked this.
What do you mean?
There were only 2 people in the hangar at the time the bodies were swapped. Which means they were working together.
Huh? Working together?
The only 2 people involved in the swap were the victim and the culprit. The culprit was operating the camera and the hydraulic press, while the victim lay inside. If they switched places while the press and the camera were stopped,
Yep.
then the person who turned the camera and the press back on was the original victim. To put it simply, both people operated the press and camera at different times. An impossible trick, unless the victim and culprit agreed to cooperate beforehand.
Victim and culprit cooperated? Is that even possible?
It sounds bizarre, but perhaps that was the whole point. Commit a crime that was so confusing, even Monokuma would be tricked.
Jeez, this culprit's a real jerk. So, have you realized who done it yet?
The culprit of the case. My detective work hasn't failed me. The culprit is inside that exisal. It can only be them.
The apparent victim we saw in the video was Kaito, which means Kokichi was operating the hydraulic press and camera at first. If the two of them switched while the press was stopped, then the culprit who started the hydraulic press again and crushed Kokichi must be Kaito. So, the person inside that exisal isn't Kokichi. It has to be Kaito.
What did you say?
So the culprit for this case is Kaito Momota. That is what the ultimate detective has deduced, right?
Kaito is the culprit? What? You're joking, right? You can't be serious.
I don't want to believe it either, but it's the only way any of this makes sense. My detective work has led me to the conclusion that Kaito is the culprit.
Is that the point I was supposed to do a workaround?
Is that true? Is Kaito really in there?
Hey, answer us! If you really are Kaito, then...
I'm the culprit.
I want to reload and...
There's just no way that Kaito can still be alive. Because I'm the culprit.
Wait, you? But didn't you say...
I saw it with my own eyes. Kokichi drank the antidote that he stole from Kaito. There's no doubt Kaito died. And he died because of my poison arrow.
But you told us you didn't want to kill Kaito.
Yes, I never wanted to. I wanted to believe that I didn't kill him. But the truth speaks differently. In the end, I was just running away from the facts.
Huh? I don't understand.
That is right. He would be dead by poison, certainly. Maki, are you trying to protect Kaito? If he's the culprit, you're trying to help him get away?
There was only one antidote, so it's more likely he died from my poison arrow. This is the truth.
It's not decided yet. I could have still killed him with the hydraulic press. Either way, those are the two options. Monokuma knows the answer, right?
Huh? Are those the only options?
I guess that's how things turned out.
No, that can't be. The person in that exisal is...
It's not Kaito! I saw Kokichi drink the antidote! There's no mistake. Kaito is dead. I killed Kaito. There's absolutely no doubt. That's the truth.
I thought so. Maki's trying to protect Kaito. I understand how she feels, but if Kaito is the culprit, why did he agree to Kokichi's plan? I can't imagine that Kaito would do something so selfish. There must be a reason for it. I truly believe that. I have to get to the bottom of this before I can uncover the truth.
But, Maki, you don't know for certain that Kokichi drank the antidote.
What?
You saw him drink it right in front of you, but you couldn't confirm he actually did it. So maybe there's another possibility.
What are you talking about? Impossible. That's impossible. There is no other possibility. I killed Kaito!
Armament, huh?
I killed Kaito!
Shit.
You're the one who's wrong.
Shit.
He died from my poison arrow. There's no other possibility.
Oh yeah, I've got the stupid little boost. I always
What
forget
do you
about that.
know?
Shit.
I killed Kaito! You're the one who's wrong. He died from my poison arrow.
Shit.
There's no other possibility.
Playing with a PlayStation controller makes me mess up.
It doesn't matter
so
what you say. I'm telling you, this is the truth. But you keep getting in the way. You're so goddamn annoying. It doesn't matter what you say. I'm telling you, this is the truth. But you keep getting in the way. I was at the scene. So I know I'm not wrong. I'm sorry I kept quiet till now. I wanted to believe I didn't kill him. But I won't run away from the truth anymore. Because I know what I saw. I was at the scene. So I know I'm not wrong. I'm sorry I kept quiet till now. I wanted to believe I didn't kill him. But I won't run away from the truth anymore. Because I know what I saw. I was at the scene. So I know I'm not wrong. I'm sorry I kept
I
quiet
always
till
forget
now.
I had this ability in here.
I wanted to believe I
Oh,
didn't
why?
kill him. I saw Kokichi drink the antidote.
Pretended to drink the antidote.
It ends here! Kokichi just pretended to drink the antidote. He didn't actually drink it.
He pretended to drink it?
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward answer to your problem.
Drinking the antidote was part of his lie. Maki could only see so much through the window. She didn't confirm Kokichi drank it. I believe that Kokichi knew this and just pretended to drink the antidote. After Maki left, he gave the antidote to Kaito. There's a strong possibility that all of this was done.
Sorry. My eyes really watering up. Don't know why. There we go.
To make Kaito cooperate. Make him cooperate? The swapping trick required the victim and culprit to work together. Kaito's cooperation was essential to Kokichi's plan. However, I don't think Kokichi would be able to sway Kaito easily. He needed leverage. He gave Kaito the antidote in exchange for his cooperation.
In exchange for his own life, you mean?
Kaito had no choice. He had to cooperate after Kokichi saved his life. That's just Kaito's character, and Kokichi knew that. He swallowed his pride for the antidote, and agreed to participate in Kokichi's plan.
But didn't Kokichi make this plan? What good is it for him if he's dead?
I imagine
just
this
wants
was
to
all
win.
part of Kokichi's plan to confuse us. You wouldn't think that someone would plan their own murder.
He went so far as to give up his life, just to create this mystery?
Only Kokichi could think of something so nefarious. Who else would agree to die just to execute their plan?
Why would he go that far?
I bet Kokichi was determined to beat me at my own game, no matter what. But too bad! Shuichi figured out the truth!
Truth? Are you sure it's not delusion?
Delusion?
A delusion completely off the mark. To make you think that I die. But who cares what you guys think? This is between me and Monokuma. I don't give a crap if the extras in this game get it right or not.
Extras, huh?
Extras?
I'm fine with being an extra.
Shit.
Huh? Why?
If we're just extras, then even if we get it wrong, we won't get killed.
No, I'd still kill you all. Don't put Kokichi's words in
No,
my
I'd still
mouth.
kill you all.
But why? You are being so friendly with us.
If Monokuma gets it right, then he takes everyone's lives, yeah? But if Monokuma gets it wrong, then he'd have no right to take everyone's lives. If Monokuma doesn't know who the culprit is, then this killing game can't function anymore.
Can't function anymore.
Kaito, I believe in you.
If you're cooperating with this plan, you must have a reason. To determine that reason, I need to reveal the truth.
I still think Kaito is the culprit. Thinking of it that way makes all the pieces fit. I will show you the truth. The truth you can't deny.
Alright. Bitson. Electro Bomb. Alright. Whatever was the culprit flushed on the toilet? Who was putting the hydraulic press last? Who was putting the hydraulic press first? Was Kichi dragged on the ground? What if it's the culprit leaving the bathroom? Who actually drinks the antidote? Back to that, what did Kokichi take out? What did Kokichi take from the culprit? Who was it by the second arrow? Who was it by the first arrow? What opened the shutter and got inside the hanger? Where did the culprit shoot Kokichi? Who did Maki hit with the electro hammer? Oh god, there we go, okay. That looks just like the chain ones, I couldn't see it. Actually saw inside the hanger. I think that was it. What opened the shutter and got inside the hanger? Inside the hanger. Hit the first arrow, who's the second arrow? What did Kokichi pull from Kokichi? What did he take out? Who actually drinks the antidote? What did Kokichi drag? What did he put leave? Who's putting the hydraulic press first? Who's putting the press last? This has to be. And the electro bomb. Shoot. Who did Aki hit? Was the electro hammer? After seeing that info. What? Was it for the first arrow? Was it for the second arrow? What did Kokichi take from the culprit? Maki left, what weapon did Kokichi take out? That's what I think it could be. Electro bomb. The only antidote. Hit the exfil. Trail of blood. Ground. Press first. hit the culprit. Alright, who's it? That's first arrow. Who's it? Second arrow. It's a weird one. What did Kokichi take from the culprit? This was a fake out. Alright, hit the Exisal. Over here. Trail of blood. Where are we? So we got Kokichi in the press, assembled the crossbow, drink the antidote, culprit in the press. Okay, so what evidence did the culprit leave in the bathroom? Culprit in the press. Let's put the hydraulic press last. Kokichi in the press. The culprit flushed down the toilet. Close, antidote drink, and assemble the crossbow. So we have Himiko, the culprit, assembled the crossbow. Drink the antidote. Ready the culprit shoot. Who's hit by the first arrow? Who's hit by the second arrow? Who actually drinks the antidote? There we are. Clothes left in the bathroom. And there we are. And what's this one? What happens to the culprit leave in the bathroom? That's 3 arrows. Who was hit by the second arrow Maki fired? Who was hit by the first arrow Maki fired? That would be Kokichi. What? Where did the culprit shoot Kokichi? Oh, Kokichi's fired. That was the first arrow. Got 1, 2. And that's all of them. Last legs, don't screw it up. The first arrow Maki fired, Kokichi's back. There we are. Second arrow Maki fired, the culprit's left arm.
This is the truth of the case!
There we go.
Let's go over the trick that Kokichi and the culprit created together. Last night, Kibo saw Himiko from the window of his lab.
Alright, right to left.
She was carrying a black case.
That's why it was all
and
weird.
heading to the Exisal hangar. When she reached the hangar, she handed the case to someone through the bathroom window. That someone is the culprit of this case. Locked in the bathroom, the culprit had asked Himiko to bring them a certain weapon.
Yep, a certain weapon.
A disassembled crossbow from Maki's lab. The culprit was going to use the crossbow to challenge Kokichi to a fight. Some time passed, and Maki made her way to the hangar. She was going to the hangar to kill Kokichi and save the culprit trapped in the bathroom. However, the hangar had an electric barrier preventing her from entering. Fortunately for her, she had an electro hammer to get around the barrier, in a way. She used her electro hammer to disable an exisal and climbed inside. She knew exisals could bypass the barrier, so she got inside one. Around that time, the culprit and Kokichi began their confrontation. While Kokichi was checking up on them, the culprit ambushed him with a crossbow. But the culprit didn't intend to kill Kokichi. They just wanted to disable him. That's why the culprit aimed for Kokichi's right arm. If they really wanted to kill him, they would have shot him in his vitals. Kokichi reeled from the arrow, and the culprit jumped on him immediately. He didn't want Kokichi to have the chance to summon an exasol with a remote. While they were fighting, something happened that caught them both off guard. The shutter of the hangar opened, and an exasol stepped inside. Kokichi was definitely not expecting an exasol to interrupt them. He pulled out his remote in an attempt to control the exasol. But Maki leaped out of the cockpit and shot Kokichi with her crossbow. The arrow hit Kokichi right in the back. And it was no normal arrow. The tip was covered in a lethal poison from my lab called Strike 9 poison. The poison kills slowly. It seems as if Maki wanted Kokichi to confess before he died. But even with poison in his veins, Kokichi continued to spin his lies. When she had had enough, Maki tried to finish him off with another poisoned arrow. But this time, Maki was the one caught by surprise. To keep Maki from becoming the Blackened, the culprit used their body to shield Kokichi. The culprit's left arm was struck by a poison arrow. Maki remembered that there was an antidote in my lab and immediately ran off to get it. The Strike 9 poison slowly circulated through their systems and would soon kill them both. But in that desperate situation, Kokichi thought up a clever lie. He incorporated this unforeseen event into his plan to help him win the killing game. Or should I say, help him defeat Monokuma. That was Kokichi's true objective. It's why he claimed to be the mastermind. Thinking fast, Kokichi closed the shutter so that Maki could not re-enter the hangar. Thus, Kokichi's final lie was set into motion. When Maki returned with the antidote, she couldn't get back inside the hangar.
All I can think during
So
this
she went around
is
to the
that
hangar
one of the
bathroom
comments of
and passed the antidote through the window.
there's a lot of people who dislike this ending.
But after the culprit was given the antidote, Kokichi immediately snatched it. Kokichi drank down all of the antidote, while the culprit and Maki watched in horror. Maki must have been panicking, thinking the only antidote was now gone. She believed that the culprit was going to die from her own poisoned arrow, but it was all another one of Kokichi's lies. He had only pretended to drink the antidote. Maki tried desperately to break into the hangar, even slashing the control panel. But she couldn't get the shutter to open again. Defeated, she had no choice but to leave. After Maki had left, Kokichi took out another weapon. An electrobomb, capable of disabling communication devices for hours. Kokichi's plan was to use an electrobomb to knock out Monokuma's surveillance cameras. That was why he commissioned Mew to make the bombs in the first place. After detonating an electrobomb, Kokichi coerced the culprit into drinking the antidote. In exchange for the antidote, Kokichi asked the culprit to cooperate with his plan. Kokichi needed to work with the culprit to execute his final lie. Under Under normal circumstances, the culprit would never have agreed to such a plan. But because the culprit owed him for saving their life, they agreed to Kokichi's request. Request is a generous term. It was more like blackmail. In any case, the two were now working together as accomplices in an insane plan. There was a lot to prepare, and not a lot of time. They had to work fast. If Kokichi died from the Strike-9 poison, the whole plan would be ruined. After fabricating the scene in the bathroom, the culprit dragged Kokichi to the hydraulic press. This is how the swipe pattern bloodstain from the bathroom to the press was created. Kokichi, with the support of the culprit, stood in front of the press's control panel. The two of them were finally ready to execute the insane lie. While Kokichi was setting up the video camera near the hydraulic press's control panel, the culprit laid face up inside the press, draping their coat over their shoulders. Then, Kokichi activated the press and the camera's record button at the same time. The hydraulic press came down slowly, all caught on tape for us to see. Normally, the safety function would have triggered, but the electrobomb had disabled it. The press got lower and lower, and just as the culprit disappeared from view, Kokichi pressed the force stop button and the camera's pause button simultaneously. The two then switched places and also switched roles. The culprit and the victim. The would-be victim became our culprit and started up the press and camera. Kokichi had saved the culprit's life because his trick required their cooperation. He wanted to win the killing game, even if it meant dying himself. And so, Kokichi was crushed by the press, and the whole thing was caught on video. The culprit's left sleeve was dangling from the press, making us think he was the victim. Now alone, the culprit collected the video camera and tore the hydraulic press's power cord so that it could never be raised again. This would make it impossible for us to determine the identity of the crushed body. But there was another reason the victim was killed in this way. It obfuscated the cause of death, making the case that much more difficult to solve. This was all part of Kokichi's plan to create a murder not even Monokuma could figure out. With the press disabled, the culprit returned to the bathroom to flush Kokichi's clothes. Finally, they climbed inside of an exisal to hide and waited with bated breath. And here they are now in this trial, pretending to be Kokichi. They're trying to deceive Monokuma in order to defeat the true mastermind. And that's it. That's Kokichi's unidentified culprit trick.
Congratulations, he died for nothing.
The culprit is in that exisal. It's you, isn't it? Kaito Momota, the ultimate astronaut. I'm right, aren't I? That's you in there, isn't it, Kaito?
Really? Is it really Kaito?
I must reluctantly agree with Shuichi's deduction.
Man! Shuichi sure loves his crazy deductions!
Huh?
You're still not gonna admit it?
Admit it? But it's wrong.
But logically speaking, his deduction tracks.
If it's really Kaito in there, he would have admitted it by now.
Was Shuichi's reasoning wrong somehow?
No, a detective work was flawless. It's the truth. I'm sure that Kaito is inside that exisal. So why is Kaito still fighting me? Is this about Monokuma, or is there another aspect to
You
this?
claim everything is set, and that's it. You don't have any evidence, do you? You all think the body was switched when the hydraulic press stopped for a moment. But that's just speculation in the end. No evidence to back it up. So if we reverse our reverse way of thinking, then it's likely I didn't do anything, right? It's totally possible that the body switching never happened and Kaito is dead. Not just possible, it's the actual truth.
Well, it's true. There's no proof that the bodies were switched.
No, we should trust Shuichi's deduction. I'm sure everything will be okay. This emotion I've learned, I believe you call it faith. That's what I feel right now.
That's right. We have to believe in Shuichi.
Well, I don't care either way. But if you guys get it wrong, you'll have to deal with Monokuma. What will the results of this voting time be? If Monokuma makes a mistake, he won't be able to execute anyone, right? Then it will be my victory. And that will ruin the entire killing game.
Ruin? I see. So that's your objective. You mean to ruin the killing game itself. That's why Kaito has been so stubborn all this time. What does he mean by ruin exactly? Monokuma can do whatever he wants to the rules. How do you ruin something like that? What would be the point?
Come on, Monokuma. Start the voting already.
Yeah, I'm getting to it. Sheesh! Let's proceed with voting time, shall we? Sorry I fell short of your expectations, but I'm pretty sure I won't make any mistakes. 'Cause I got the ultimate detective's airtight logic on my side.
Now I know the whole truth and why. I believe in my own logic, and I believe in Kaito. From this point on, it's not about logic. It's about how far I'm willing to go. I believe in you, Kaito. Not as a detective, but as Shuichi Saihara.
Can I just say something? I'd like to have one last conversation before we vote.
One last conversation?
There's more to talk about?
You see, before we vote, there's something I have to say. I just need you all to listen. All right, let's pin this down. Who is inside that exisal?
Kaito, right?
That's what you said, isn't it?
Kokichi's the one who died. And the culprit is Kaito standing right there.
Isn't that correct?
Of course not! I would never die!
Go with file 5. Murder video. Peaches is... Kaito's coat and poison. Why is there all this use to often have aggressive while holding the team? Many poisons lined up on the shelves near the safety. Only one certain 9 poison that has less poison in it. It takes some time for certain 9 to take effect, but is 100% fatal, even a small amount enters the body.
That's Shuichi!
Kokichi's clothes and Kokichi's found stuff in the toilet and Hanger's bathroom. Small holes are found back on the sleeve, both holes have traces of blood around them. No one has seen Kokichi during the entire investigation up until the start of the fast trial. That's the one that's in the murder video. Kaito's trying to ruin the game. That's why he's hiding the truth. I don't know exactly why, but he's putting his life on the line for it. So to put my faith in him, this is the only way. everything that we've deemed determined up to now. If I turned it all on its head. Yes, I need to lie.
All right, let's pin this down. Who is inside that exisal?
Kaito, right?
They
That's
won't
what
tell
you
me.
said, isn't it?
Kokichi's the one who died. And the culprit is Kaito standing right there.
Isn't that correct?
Of course not! I would never die!
I trust Shuichi.
Okay. Kato's trying to win the game, that's why he's hiding the truth. Don't know exactly why, but put in line for it. The thing that we determined up to now. What if I turned it all on its head and to lie?
All right, let's pin this down. Who is inside that exisal?
Kaito, right?
That's what you said, isn't it?
Kokichi's the one who died.
Nope. Just gotta hold it.
All right, let's pin this down.
Last shot.
Who is inside that exisal?
Kokichi's the one who died. And the culprit is Kaito standing right there.
Isn't that correct?
I trust
That's the only thing that could happen. That's the only
All right,
option I
let's
have.
pin this down. Who is inside that exisal?
Kaito, right?
There's
That's
only
what you
one
said,
option.
isn't it?
Kokichi.
I'll reveal the truth.
Perjury.
Kokichi, I'm sorry. I just can't lie for you anymore.
What?
What do you mean, lie?
Why did you say Kokichi? The one in the exisal is...
I'm so sorry, everyone. I've deceived you all.
Huh?
The truth is, after we found the crushed body, I saw Kokichi.
you saw Kokichi?
Yes. He threatened me, told me that if I didn't do what he said, he'd kill us all. He wanted me to lie about what I saw, so that the trial would be more interesting. But I can't do it anymore. I can't keep lying like this. I have to tell the truth. Kokichi isn't dead. He's alive.
Hold on! Why did you wait until now to mention this?
I'm so sorry, Kibo, but it's true.
Really. I really am sorry, but this is the only way. Kaito is trying to fool Monokuma, trying to ruin the class trial. Kaito is risking his life to do this, and I'll stand by him. I believe in Kaito. I will believe in what he's trying to do. He's not doing this to hurt us. I'm sure he's trying to save us all. If Monokuma wants to rely on my detective work, fine. I'll just die.
Everyone,
Lie.
please, don't vote for Kaito. There's no doubt about it. Kokichi is in that exisal. He's the culprit.
Hey, Shuichi. I don't know what you're scheming, but as far as I'm concerned, you guys aren't extras at all. If you guys are wrong, you're gonna have to take your punishments like champs. Got it?
I'm not wrong. We can't vote for Kaito.
Stop it! That's enough.
Huh?
It's over. If you guys get it wrong and Monokuma gets it right, then you'll all get punished. There's no way I can let that happen. So, it's fine. Let's end this.
Kaito!
So, it really was you?
My bad for tricking you guys. I'll explain everything. But before that, it's voting time.
Before?
Alright, don't get it wrong. I'm definitely the culprit. You got it? I'm the one who killed Kokichi.
Kaito, no!
It's just like you to figure it all out, Shuichi. You're really something else. So all you gotta do is believe in your reasoning. That's what detectives do. Hey, Monokuma, let's hurry up and get this vote started!
Well said. Let's get this started then. The heart-racing excitement as the blackened and the spotless face off. It's voting time!
Six. Trusting him, alright? Push the button. Alright, here you go, Kaito. Vote for you like you said we should.
It seems the voting has finished. Now then, let's see the result. Who'll be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Screwed up right at the end. I forgot to push the button.
Well,
Alright. And it is about that time, so we're gonna call it here, and we'll figure out what the hell is in store for us next time. I'm not quite sure what's gonna happen. And one thing I really dislike about the series, just believe in me, but I can only say yes or no. What does that mean? So either try and believe in him and go along with voting for him like he said, like an event that happened in the first game, or continue with the lie I was trying to do at the very end there. I don't know. But we'll figure it out tomorrow. I think that's probably going to be the last one. I hope. I think. I don't know. We'll see. Anywho, take care, everybody. Have fun.